Now it's time for RTB 101, where we discuss practical questions to equip you to share your faith more effectively. And here to help me talk about a very practical tip is astronomer Dr. Hugh Ross. Welcome, Hugh.
Thank you.
It's great to be here, and I'm really excited about this topic because it does have so much practical value. You know, I'm not a scientist, but I talk to a lot of scientists, and I do care about getting accurate information. And one thing I've noticed is that science headlines can sound extremely sensationalistic. They can say something crazy like, scientist proves the Big Bang is wrong, or something like that. And we know that you can't comment on every story, although people send you a lot of stories to comment on. I'm hoping maybe you can coach us a bit how we can do some of these things for ourselves, how we can analyze and evaluate these news stories. So we see the headline, we click on it. What should we do first?
Well, you talk about clicking on it. Most people get their science news content from the internet or TV. And, often when a discovery of major significance comes out, you're going to see dozens and dozens of internet articles. But my counsel is only trust those articles where they give you a link to the actual research paper. And sometimes they'll wait until the paper's been peer reviewed. Often they'll pick up on a preprint or an announcement, but there again, you want to see, okay, they gave me a link to a preprint. Look at the preprint at the front page, see if it's been accepted for publication. If it's been accepted for publication, that gives it a higher level of credibility. But personally, I never trust a web article where they don't give me a link to the actual research, the actual published research.
That's really good advice. So if the news article doesn't link me to the actual peer-reviewed paper, that should be a red flag for me as a layperson.
That should be a red flag. And I'm okay with them giving a link to a preprint, but I want to see that the preprint's been accepted for publication in a mainstream journal.
Right. And that's a really good tip too. As I'm looking at the peer-reviewed article, what should I look for? Like, how do I know if this is a good journal or not?
Well, every journal has its own purpose. And so, yes, you want to see what journal it's being published in. For example, if it's published in Physics Letters B, that's a journal that accepts theoretical physics research papers, typically of highly speculative nature, but they're encouraging that speculation because they want people to see some of the new thinking, the new mathematics, but you need to take that into consideration when you read articles, say, in that journal. And when you look up a journal, they always have an editorial page which describes their philosophy of what they publish and what they don't publish. So I look at that. And also I would depend on sites like the NASA archive site and PubMed. These are archive sites where they literally archive hundreds of thousands of research papers they keep up to date. The NASA site basically focuses on the physical sciences, PubMed on the life sciences, and they got great search engines. If the discovery's been announced, you want to type that in and see what other papers have been published. You want to get an idea of the consensus of the scientific community and see if this is an outlier or if it actually fits in with what other researchers are discovering.
That's a really good tip too of just, is this kind of the first one that's come along, or is this one of many papers that scientists have been diving into recently or over the years? Now, when I take the time to actually look at the peer-reviewed article, what can I do if I don't understand the science? Maybe it's a bunch of equations or something. Is there any kind of shortcut or any hope for me in trying to understand what the article is about?
Well, every science research paper comes with a short abstract, usually a paragraph long, which is designed to give to non-experts kind of the bottom line of what they discovered. And the rule in the scientific community is whatever the journal, that abstract is available free to the public. Yes, you may have to pay $30 to read the entire paper, but you can always get the abstract without charge. And then again, I would encourage you, you want to look at other papers and read those abstracts as well. And some journals actually split it up where they've got kind of like, a non-technical summary and then the abstract. They actually give you two abstracts. Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, for example, always gives you a shorter abstract that's really geared for the person who's not a scientist.
Now, why do we at Reasons to Believe put so much emphasis on these peer-reviewed articles? Like if people read your blog posts or Dr. Rana's blog posts, they're going to see links to this peer-reviewed research. Why do we emphasize that so much?
Well, for this very reason, every article that Reasons to Believe publishes on any kind of scientific topic, we give extensive citations to the scientific literature, and we give you a link which allows you to go immediately to that paper and see for yourself what we're claiming in our short article actually is fairly representing what's in that peer-reviewed science research paper. We have another policy. We never just cite one paper. We give you several papers relevant to that topic, written by different authors, so you can kind of get a sense of what the entire scientific community thinks on that topic.
And I imagine that's really going to help me if I'm sharing the article with a non-Christian friend. That's going to build credibility for them.
Yeah, if you're sharing with an engineer or a scientist, they're not only going to want to see a citation to a peer-reviewed paper, they're going to see citations to papers written by other scientists that may hold a slightly different perspective or may be providing confirming evidence. That's what they're going to be looking for, and that's going to buy you a lot of credibility when you share your faith.
Thanks, Hugh. This has been a really practical segment. And I do want to encourage all of you, if you haven't yet done so, go check out Hugh's blog. Just search for Today's New Reason to Believe.